Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, I'm continuing my look at the second season of The X-Files. And this is episode 10, Red Museum from 1994. Now, previously, we'd had Firewalker, and the next episode will be Excelsior's Dea. And this was transmitted on the 9th of December 1994 on the Fox network. And on the 30th of October 1995 in the UK, it was transmitted on BBC Two. Now, this is written by the series creator, Chris Carter, who I'd actually had the idea that maybe they could have a crossover episode with Picket Fences, but it never happened. And this is really, I think, more of a standalone episode, though there is a bit of mythology that does pop into this story. Now, it's directed by Wynne Phelps, who very much a big TV series and TV film director. There's just an absolute stack of very well-known series. Now, this, as usual, we've got quite a bit of locations, and that's around Delta, Ladner, Surrey, in British Columbia. And the beef processing plant is from Cloverdale, which I think we have mentioned before, used as a location, Cloverdale. So there we are. Now let's get on with the cast. We have got David Duchovny playing Fox Mulder, and we've got Gillian Anderson playing Dana Scully. There isn't any sort of reoccurring characters in this episode. So we've got Paul Sand, who plays Gerd Thomas. He goes back to 1968. Films like The Hot Rock, 1972 he was in. The Great Bank Hoax, 1978. Now, The Main Event, 1979, which is a Barbra Streisand, Ryan O'Neal film. He was also in Teen Wolf 2, 1987, Sweetland, 2005, and Queen of the Lot, 2010. Then we've got Steve Easton, who plays Sheriff Mazarowski. He was in A Change of Seasons, 1980, which is interesting because it had Anthony Hopkins, Shirley MacLaine, and Bo Derek in, but he's considered quite awful and was one of the first recipients, I think, in the first year of the Golden Raspberry Awards. Yes. I've never heard of that film. Maybe that's why. Then we have got The Hidden, 1987. We have got one before this, Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker from 1981, which I know has had a release quite recently. I think it was on that Video Nasties. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. So you can see a theme there of certain horror films. Then Slither, 1993, which is, I know, Sharon Stone. Con Air, wow, what a film that is, 1997. Catch Me If You Can, 2002. The Black Dahlia, 2006. Locker 13, that's 2009. And a film that is, well, it's very well known, Killers of the Flower Moon, Scorsese, 2023. So very up to date. So Steve Easton has got a massive career, absolutely. Next, we've got Mark Rolston, who plays Richard Odin. Now, it is interesting as well. Aliens, wow, 1986. Lethal Weapon 2, 1989. RoboCop 2, Body of Evidence, 1993. Here's one for everybody. The Shawshank Redemption, 1994. Eraser, I know, is an Arnie film, 1996. Rush Hour, 1998. Saw 5, wow, 2008. And Saw 6, 2009. Wow, what can you say about that? And Tell Me How I Died, 2016. And then a war film, Midway, in 2019. So those are the main cast members. So let's just talk about what this is about. So Mulder and Scully are called in to investigate after several teens are found wandering in the woods after just suddenly disappearing. And on their backs, they have scrawled on there, he is one or she is one. And wow, what's going on here? And they also come across, while they're investigating, a cult. Yes, a strange cult who are vegetarians. And they're all dressed in a certain way, as you get, and all vegetarians. And you're thinking back, what's going on here? And of course, another interesting thing that then starts to occur is they discover that the local cattle are being injected by this growth hormone, I suppose that's what you would call it. And they realise that it's having an effect on the locals, making them more violent and aggressive. Apparently the rapes have gone up massively. And could this be explaining about what's going on with the teenagers? And are they being injected by this by a dodgy local doctor? All these questions come up within this story, and it starts to unravel in a really interesting way, finding out. And that's where I think you can get into the sort of mythology story. Now, another interesting part we see in this, which I think is linked with the mythology, they call him, I don't know, Crew Cut Man. They always give these names to these characters. And Scully recognizes him. She recognizes him as Scully. And she knows that he was the one who murdered Deep Throat. And so she's onto that. And it gets to a point where they're able to get into a situation where they've got him. But the sheriff shoots him, and they so don't want that. They would want to interrogate him because they find out he's got no identity. They can't find out who he is. So it would have been a really good, from their viewpoint. And as usual, this is what happens in the X-Files. You get somewhere and then immediately it's all thrown out. the barrier is there. You still can't get through the barrier. And there it is with Scully, totally frustrated by this, as is always Mulder. Again, I think when you actually look at this episode, you think maybe, why did they kill him off so early, this crew cut man? Because he could have been further down the line, even more interesting, but they decided to do that, especially as the murder of Deep Throat, and murdered Deep Throat. So that's, yeah. Anyhow, it's the way the writers go, and this is written by Chris Carter, so we have to accept that he must have seen that, but he decided to get rid of him. Now, what do I think of this episode? I think it's one that it had a mixed reaction. I don't think people think it's the greatest episode, though I kind of like, when you get these cults, I rather enjoy watching these cults. The weirder the better, quite often. And maybe I'd like to have seen a bit more about them, because they're almost like a red herring, if you pardon the pun in this. Yes, they are really. But I'd like to have seen more of that. So I think overall this did get a very mixed reaction, I think. But it's still an enjoyable episode, even when an episode at this stage is not quite, doesn't seem quite as good as when you've had some really top blown episodes, This one, it's there, it's okay, it's enjoyable. And it's not a terrible, I mean, as I say, I think we've only had really one bad episode, which was 3. But you wouldn't put this as the best, as you see. And that's why I think at the time it got mixed reactions. And it's not one that's wildly loved or hated or whatever. So I think that assesses it. But I enjoyed it. And it's always good to watch these episodes, because it's always good to watch Mulder and Scully as their relationship develops. I think at the time when I first watched this, I didn't see some of the things that I see now in their relationship. Already this early on, you know that they're already beginning to care for each other, and you see certain things which perhaps at first I didn't see as much. But now you know the characters, you see it, and they show it in various ways, and that's always good to see. It's quite a revelation. Anyhow, that's it. I think I've gone on too long, but as I always do before I go, I show you, this is the box set, which you've just seen as well, but the side of me. But then I always do that, and then say this is the small box set in the big box set, and I love the big box set, and I love these. So there we are. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and have a look at the playlist, and you can see all the previous reviews I've done of the X-Files. There's quite a few now building up, and you might enjoy them. Or perhaps you won't, I don't know. But I review a lot of films, TV shows, some music as well. So have a look there, you might enjoy it. Now, if you like this particular video, please give this a like. If you give it a like, it's really important, because it gets it out onto YouTube, and then other people might enjoy it as well, into algorithms and all that stuff. I don't know, but there we are. If you got any comments as well, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments, and I'll always answer your comments. And that's it. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.